Okay, let's begin. Um, hello everybody. Good evening, and thank you for joining us on this webinar ahead of the City Nature Challenge. Yeah. Now to talk about that, Charlotte is here. Charlotte is a graduate of zoology. She's a nature educator with Palluir, and she's also an Earth Educator Fellow with Youth Conservation for Action Network. Yeah. And she's quite a well-versed and experienced nature educator. She's worked with hundreds of children, teachers, public, yeah, as a sort of a daily thing in her life, and she holds some rich experience. And she's going to talk about what this citizen science event is about, how you can participate, and what that might lead to. Yeah. So I'm going to hand it over to her. Before that, if everybody can mute your audio while the webinar is going on, as well as while Charlotte is presenting, if you have any questions, you can put it down in the chat. She will take it up later in the end. Yeah. So thank you. On to you, Charlotte.
Hi, thanks, Johan. And Keats, can we go up to the PPT, please? From the beginning. Thank you. Okay, so hi everyone. We're gonna quickly. I'm going to quickly tell you about the City Nature Challenge (CNC). So CNC is a global citizen science event that has been happening every year, and this year it's coming to Chennai. And what happens is in this event, people from different cities come together and they document the biodiversity in their localities within their cities and share that on iNat. And so since this is a citizen science event, I'd like to start by first delving a little into what citizen science is. So to put it simply, citizen science is a process when the general public participate in collecting and contributing data towards a scientific cause. So the method for data collection and the platforms that collect this data are usually very simple and very user-friendly. And this data that you collect could be as simple as recording a sound, making a checklist, taking a picture, monitoring a tree, etc. And you simply share that observation on to an online platform. So citizen science is for everyone. It's for everyone from kids to amateurs to experts. And usually how it goes is a layman can use citizen science platforms like iNat and eBird and IBP and Season Watch to learn how to ID things and become experts with practice and time, right? So, kids, can we go to the next slide? Thank you. So IBP is the Indian Biodiversity Portal. iNaturalist and eBird, I think a lot of you would be familiar with, but. So citizen science platforms usually have reviewers and experts who monitor the data that is put on there by the public. And so now we're going to look into why you should participate in using a citizen science platform. And Kate's next slide. Right. So when you participate and when you document data and you contribute to a citizen science platform, you help to document the biodiversity around you. And this information can be used by anybody who has an interest in the topic to use that data and map things like migration, the diversity of a species in a place, if something has migrated to their locality, if something has vanished from a locality. It also helps with the conservation of a place and research. So it makes science and research accessible to a lot of people. Now, CNC is a BioBlitz. Can anyone tell me what a BioBlitz is? It's an open question. Anyone can answer. Okay, so a bio blitz is basically when people come together to find and ID as many species as possible in a specific area over a short period of time. And this documentation is later used for research, to conserve nature, to learn about the biodiversity around you, etc. Right? And so one example of how documenting the biodiversity near you, yes, Anuvia, BioBlitz. Okay, we'll come back to that. So one example of how this information has been used to conserve nature. Keith, next slide. Is what happened with the Odiur Lake. So one of our friends and colleagues noticed that there was expansion of the ECR happening into Odiur Lagoon. And so me, Yuvan, and Nikita, we went and we documented the migratory bird species in the lagoon, and we put up a checklist on eBird, and this helped us stop the expansion of the road into the lagoon, and so the and divert it to the other side. Next slide, kids. Yeah, so this is the order that was passed after we did the survey. Next slide. And this is an example of the different kinds of birds we saw over there. So this is how citizen science platforms help you when you contribute towards them. So all this data can be used towards towards causes like this, where you can conserve spaces that are in and around you, and it help. Yeah, next slide, please. Okay, so now we're going to go into how to use iNaturalist. Next slide. So the first thing you do is you can go onto Google, you search for iNaturalist. So iNaturalist is a platform where you can record anything or any kind of biodiversity, from reptiles, mammals, mollusks, gastropods, to birds and plants, flowers, etc. So you look for iNaturalist on Google. It shows you an explore page, and in order to use iNaturalist, you need to take pictures and post these as observations. So you'll need to have a you need to sign in and sign up for the platform. Keith's next slide. Okay, so the sign up page looks a little like this, and you can either sign up on the platform. You can use Facebook, you can use Google, and you can use an Apple account if you want to. Uh, and yeah, the next slide, kids. Okay, so kids, stop presenting. So how you use iNat is once you have signed up and you've created an account, you can log into that account. And when you log into that account, it shows you something like this. Okay, it shows you your username and a dashboard, right? So how you upload observations to iNat is, first you go around, you make these observations, and like I said, it could be anything, right? It could be birds, butterflies, snakes, etc. And you take pictures, and these pictures need to be clear pictures. And when you're making these observations, please be mindful of where you are, how close to something to specimen you are, and try not to damage the homes of the animals around you. And so if you want to upload an observation, sign in. Oh shit. So you go to upload over here. 1 second, let me just sign in and come back. Okay. So you're at your dashboard and you've signed in. Now you go to upload over here, and you have two options. You can choose files, or you have more import options, but usually choose files work. So you choose files, and if you've taken pictures on a camera or your phone, and this is for the website. So we're doing the website first. So if you're taking pictures on your camera or your phone, you transfer them to your laptop, and then you find the images that you've transferred, and you open them onto your dashboard. So it'll pop up something like this, and these are your cards, right? And each of this will be one observation. So if you want to merge, so if you have two observations of one species in one day, and if it's the same species in the same location, then you can drag the image this way, and it'll merge together, and you'll have two images in the same for the same observation, right? And when you're taking pictures for observations, again, it needs to be clear, and it should not blur, and you should try and take multiple angles, so it'll be easier to ID what you've observed. And so how do you ID something when you are on the field? You can use field guides. You can use iNaturalist itself. I can show you how you can use iNaturalist later. Or you can use online sources like Flowers of India, or um, butterfly portals. And or you can ask an expert in the field, what if you have one around, right? Or if you know someone. So now on iNaturalist itself, it will give you suggestions. So if you're trying to give a species, identify a species, and if you're not able to identify to the species name, species and genus level, then you can simply here it gives me skimmers. But if you don't want to click on skimmers either, you can simply put in dragonflies. Right, and you can either identify this as a dragonfly, and then later on somebody might help you ID that to a species level. uh, Otherwise, whatever has been your top suggestion, you can view that suggestion and compare. So you can compare the images that pop up for the image you've taken, and the suggestions that iNat gives you, and try and ID your observation that way. So visually, so I know this is a decidual, so I'm gonna uh, click on that. And location. So if you're using a DSLR and you're going around and you taking pictures, then ideally you could try and keep a track of where you're going and where you're observing. Or you can or you can use Google Maps history, or download a GPS tracker to help you with that. And if you know where you've taken it, then you can search for your location here. This was okay, that's huge. So I took this at the riverbed, and you could make it this big, or if you know exactly where you've spotted it, you could narrow it down to that location. Uh, and if you've taken it in Chennai and you do not know where exactly in Chennai, you can simply tag it as Chennai. Okay. And once you've gotten the location, you can update your observation. And if you have any field notes you want to add, you can put that here. And so similarly, you can try and ID all your other species. And once you're done, you click on submit observation here. Okay. If you want to delete an observation, all you have to do is click on the X, it will remove the observation. If you click on an observation, you have all these fields come up on the left side as well. Okay. And now over here, you have the options of adding a project. So if there's a particular project on iNat that you want to add your observation to, you can look for it here. Uh, Otherwise, there are lots of open projects that your observation might get added to on its own. Now, CNC is an open project, so when you make observations on iNaturalist, it will get added to the CNC project on its own. So this is the City Naturalist Challenge project on iNat. Okay, and it takes all taxa, and it takes observations from Chennai, Kanchipuram, Tiruvallur, and Chengalpattu. Yeah, and any observations are taken, and between 28th and May 1st. So if any observations that you make between April 28th and May 1st will be added to this project on its own. But you can also find the project and join it. So here where it says leave, it'll say join for people who have not joined. So you can click on join, and then you'll be added to the project as a member. Okay. Now, if you have an observation like this one, and you have both the butterfly and the flower, and you want to enter those as two separate observations, and you've already entered everything for the butterfly, then you can duplicate your observation. So once you've made the observation, I'm not able to identify it to the species level, so I will put grass yellows, which is the closest to this I can find, right? And then I will add the location. And when you're adding location, you can also like change the privacy. So open meaning anybody can see where you've ID'd this species. Obscured means only you can see it, or it'll show you a general area. Private means nobody else can see where you've found this species. Uh, it'll just give so that's protecting your geo privacy. So once you've made observations, I'm going to leave it with 2 for now. Okay, once you made your observations and you've added all the data you want to, you can submit the observation. submit observations. If you want to, if you want to add, say the location is the same location for all the observations you've made. So you can select everything here, go into details, and you can edit location over here, and whatever location you put there will be added to every observation that you mentioned here. So now you submit the observations. So these are my observations that I've submitted right now. And if I want to, like I said earlier, there are two things in this that I would like to ID. I can view, go to edit, and duplicate it. So when I duplicate this, it'll have the same date, it'll have the same time, it'll have the same location, unless I want to change it. But since it's the same picture from the same location, I don't. Then you can ID it differently. So since I'm trying to identify the flower, so I can identify to whichever level I'm comfortable with, and then save the observation, and it'll get saved as a separate observation. So when you're uploading observations, usually the pictures metadata will help you add the date and time to your observation. But if that doesn't happen, then you will have to add it on your own. So now that I've come so far, I can comment and suggest an ID afterwards if I found out what the butterfly is or what the flowering plant is. So that then I can suggest an ID and you enter the species name, or somebody else will suggest the ID. And if you want to tag an expert in the field, then you can come down here and tag someone you know as the expert of the field, right? Okay. So that's how you use the iNaturalist website. Now we're going to look at how you use the app. So the app is more accessible to a lot of people when you're doing observations on the go, and it will help you pinpoint locations more easily. And the app is best used to make observations. You can also use the explore feature, but then it's harder to look at species over there. Kids.
Yes.
App video. Okay, so you download the you download the app onto your phone from Play Store, and then when you open it, it'll ask you to sign in. So I have already signed in on this app, but you will have to either create an account or sign in using an existing account. And once you do that, this is what it looks like. Kids, you can start it now. And you have a toggle on the side which will help you add a new observation. Here you can add the plus mark, which will help you add an observation. Then you choose image. Can you make this bigger? Okay, you choose image, it will show you your images, and you can pick whichever image you want to add to your observations from here. And if you want to add a new observation, a new picture, over here I have a picture of a striped tiger butterfly. If I want to add another picture to the observation, then I can click on the icon over there. And this will let me compare the image of what the picture I've taken to the picture they have suggested an ID to, right? So you can zoom in and compare features and try and ID the picture you've taken. So once you're confirmed of an ID, if you're not, then you have the option of the arrows at the bottom that can help you move along, and then you add the location. Again, you can type in the location, or if you've taken the picture using the app, or if the metadata exists on your phone, it will enter it on its own. So you can add notes again on the app, and you have add to projects at the bottom. So 1 second, kids. So if you're a member of any projects, it will show you those projects over there. And if there is if there are any open projects, and it might show you that too. So it will automatically add your observation to the CNC project between 28th April and May 1st. But you can choose you can choose the option of adding it to CNC on the mobile if you want to. Next, kids. There's also 1 second, kids. There's also the option of captive or cultivated. So if you are taking a picture of a potted plant or an animal in a cage, then you'll have to mention that it's captive or cultivated. So that uploads the observation over there. And once it's uploaded, you can click on your observation and edit it to duplicate the observation if you want to add the flower that the butterfly was sitting on. What else? If you want to delete an observation, then you can do that too using the trash at the icon at the bottom. That's the. So how do you ID using when you are in the field? You can use field guides, like I said. Another way to ID is to use iNaturalist itself. So if you're going to a space, then people would have already made observations in that place. So if you're going to, say, Adyar Punga, then somebody would have taken pictures and uploaded these pictures onto iNat themselves. And a lot of common species you might be able to find using that. So if if I go to observations, so you go to iNaturalist, you go to explore on iNaturalist. It'll show you observations. These are the observations done in the world. You can narrow it down to your location. So say you have seen, so say you're at Adyar Punga. Try looking for that. Or you can try looking for the general locality. And if you've seen a spider, if you're looking for a flower that you've seen in this locality, you can narrow it down to that species, and it will show you all the observations made of flowers in that area. But observations meaning you'll find every observation of a flower in that area. So going and looking at species might help you narrow it down and ID things better. And with IDs, there are such things as casual IDs, research grade IDs, and things that need ID. So things that need ID and casual IDs are something like this. Let's go back. So a research grade ID will show like this, and it means 2 or more people have identified this flower to be Bombay ebony. if something needs ID, then there must be a lot of conflict in what people say it is. And a casual grade ID is just something that somebody has ID'd and put on, and it needs to be confirmed by somebody else. Can we go back to the PPT, Keith? Done. Next. So, like I said, to participate in CNC, you can join the project. You do not need to join the project. You can just take pictures and upload them on iNat between these days, and it will get in Chennai, Tiruvallur, Kanchipuram, and Chengalpet, and it will get added to the project on its own. And between April 20th and May 1st is when you take pictures and upload them. And between May 2nd and May 7th is when these pictures need to be ID'd. And results for CNC get announced on May 8th. So one of the questions that we got when people were registering for the webinar is which cities are participating. So CNC has its own web page, and it has all the information you require to participate, which cities are there, and things like that. So in India, the cities, it just get mixed up. Okay, 1 second. Yeah, so in India, the cities that are participating, you can look for that on this web page. Okay, right. Keith, next slide, please. Next. Yes, so that's everything about iNat and CNC. Does anyone have any questions? Stop presenting, kids. Thank you.
Hi, Charlotte. So Umesh had asked if you can merge the pictures only during upload or whether you can merge them after uploading as well.
So pictures you can merge only during upload. After you've uploaded, if you have two different pictures of the same thing in the same location or at the same time, then you cannot merge them after you've uploaded them. You'll have to delete one. But if you've seen the same thing in either the same location at a different time later in the day or something like that, you made a new trip to the place, then you can make a new observation for that. And if you've seen the same, so if you've gone to a place today and you've observed a striped tiger in that place today, and you made that observation, and you've gone to the place 2 days from now or 3 days from now, and you've seen the same butterfly or a different butterfly of the same species, then you can upload that again. So you can upload striped tiger, the picture you've taken on that day, again. That's okay.
But you can also upload different pictures of the same species for this observation that you uploaded before. That is possible.
Okay, and one more thing. We at Palluir are going to 5 different parks on 28th, 29th, 30th, and 1st. Sorry, 4 different parks on 28th, 29th, 30th, and 1st. And on 28th, we are going. 1 second. On 28th, we're going to the Secretariat Park near Marina Beach. On 29th, we're going to the Indranagar Park. On 30th, Sendangal Park in Gopalpuram. On 1st, we're going to the Elliott's Beach, and all this is happening in the morning from 6:30 to 8. So if anyone is interested and nearby, you can join us. And if anyone is interested in conducting their own walks near their area, please let us know. We can put it up and people can join you. Any other questions?
Yeah, so Sagarika has asked, if we are from the participating city, observations will be automatically taken in, right? But if we are in a city which is not participating, what happens then?
So if you're in Chennai, which is the participating city, and you are in the boundary limits of the area that we've marked for the project, then the observation will directly get added on to the CNC project. But if you're outside those boundaries and it's not been marked for any other, so say if you're outside the boundaries of Chennai, Kanchipuram, Tiruvallur, and Chengalpet, then that will not be added to the project. But if you're in another participating city within those participating boundaries, like I showed you the list, so if you're in Bangalore or Delhi or some other city that is participating, then your observation will be added to that city's project.
Yes. One more question we have from Divya is that will plants and trees in parks be cultivated?
Oh, good question. I'm not really sure if we add that as cultivated. If anyone here knows and can tell us, that'll be great. Otherwise, we can get back to you later.
So if so that's like a slightly difficult question. There are some species which are very clearly cultivated, kept there for hedge or for beauty. Those are clearly cultivated. Others, trees like a banyan or something which has been there for 50, 100 years, that could be counted as wild, as such naturalized. So that could be sort of the broad distinction I'd make in my mind while putting observations.
Okay.
We also have a question from Anuvia on, similar lines, that is it okay to add plant species kept at home or at the office that has been brought there, and do caught fishes count?
So you can add these observations provided you add it as a cultivated or captive species, and it will be taken into the project because the criteria for the project is any observation. It doesn't exclude captive or cultivated species. Anything else?
And fishes, if say there's
Yes.
a market, and I'm just seeing a lot of fishes on display, I can just do I have to ask if they brought it from, was it artisanally fished or?
Okay. If those fish have not come from Chennai, then I'm not really sure.
Right.
As long as you put captive on it, I think you'll be fine.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and iNat also has a bunch of video tutorials that I will put in the chat box here. So if anyone wants to look through those, you could go through that as well.
There's one more question that came in the registration, which you might have addressed already, but I feel like you could maybe get into it a little bit as well. There was somebody who asked, how can they make sure that they're putting the right name for the species when they get it from the suggestions? How do I make sure, how do I ensure that I'm putting the right species?
So when you take a picture of the species and you're trying to ID it, try your best to match it to a local field guide, and try your best to compare it and make sure that the suggestion that iNat is giving you falls within the city and locality you're in and not foreign countries. And even if it's the wrong observation, if you're not clear on the name of your species, you can put it down as if it's a plant species, and if it's flowering, you can put it on as flowering plant. If it's not, then you can just put plants, and somebody will come along and either ID it for you, or it might be left like that. But if you're not sure of the name, try putting it down as the family or the order, or keep going uh, up in the classification chain till you're sure of what you're looking at. So if you're not able to find the species level, if you're sure that what you've taken a picture of is a butterfly, just put butterfly. If it's a flowering plant, just flowering plant. If it's a spider, just spider.
Yeah, I think that's about it from the chat and from questions from the registration. I think you've addressed all of the registration questions as well.
All right.
Anybody else with any questions, any suggestions, anything to add? I've also added in the chat box a link to a bunch of downloadable resources that you can download and use when you are participating in the CNC. If you need a little bit of a prompt of what you can look for, what you can find in different spaces, we have bingos and posters of like spiders, of ants, of bees, which you can even use to help ID, and also bingos like the wall survey and beach bingo, which you can take in such places and try to find, which can give you some starts for this. Okay, we have another question from Tanmay. He asks, is point location necessary for threatened or rare species?
I'm not sure. If you can provide a point location for that, that will be great. It will help with protecting it. But if you are not fully aware of where you took the picture, then try to limit it to as close to the point to where you've seen it as possible.
Also, if I can add to that, if you feel like I think what Yovana said on the chat is what I was coming to. If you feel like it's something that could be exploited, the location could be exploited in some way, you can always put a generic location for that species.
You can also obscure the location and make it private.
Yeah, I think that is it with the questions.
Okay. Thank you for coming, everyone. And I hope we've been able to answer your questions, and you've gotten some clarity on what iNaturalist is and how to participate in CNC. And I look forward to seeing all your observations and contributions to the event.
Okay. Thank you, Charlotte, and thank you, everybody. Please do get out on these 4 days and observe as many species as possible. Set a little sort of challenge for yourself. Okay, today I'm going to observe 50 species or something. Yeah. And then upload it. On these 4 days, the Palluir group will be sitting on iNat and looking for observations from Greater Chennai and actively helping you identify on iNaturally. So we'll be like, looking with gimlet eyes saying, these observations from Chennai, we are. So all life. Don't post selfies, please, except human life. Like Charlotte said, trees, insects, birds, whatever. Yeah. So thank you.
We'll also be putting up more information on the walks on our social media handles, and we'll be sending it across. So hope you all can join. Yes. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right.